Well, all the cyclists and the bike lovers has a great interest about the chainings, and then not only Korea. Over the decades, there are so many debates was going on about these circular chainings and the non-circular chainings. But Mr. Che, if I introduce him, he was not mainly focused on the chaining. He already 10 years ago he developed this such beautiful the rowing machine, and then he contributed many people who were sick to recover and return back to their normal life. So which means uh, he knows about this orbit, about this three-dimensional how human body is functioning. So one day, you know, he picked up the bike and then all of a sudden thought about why chaining is spinning like this. He was just curious, and then that was the beginning of this Doval chaining development. He never thought about this business. He never thought about this, compete with other chainings. But natural development, he was studying about this chaining industry, and then analyze how other chainings really functioning. So he eventually brought up his own theory and then testing, and he ride a bike by himself, and then he damaged his body, and then he again newly developing. Sometimes he made the mistake, and he acknowledged on the cafe on opening. When I met him in person, he's very active. He has eye of a falcon, and then very stubborn too about his enthusiasm, what his belief. But he had some honesty too. Very honest. What is know about what he doesn't know, and he also shared his dilemma. And he also shared his dilemma developing this chaining in the cafe. And then sometimes he felt in the big depression when the development was not going into, when development was not making a progress. He has a charming eye, a very humble man, and his staff making this chaining in a very humble place. So when I made the visit, I felt a great privilege to have opportunity meet him in person, even just to exchange just a few words. Over the many years, he developed the chainings, very early version. He did not have this fancy CNC machine. He did not have this computerized CAD software. That was the beginning, but slowly he equipped those machines and accelerated producing many different types of chainings. Well, I think everybody has a question: why chaining should be always being circle the way it is? Is there any solid reason? But that's the beginning, and why there is only a standard and compact chaining, or 53 or 50, 34. That's the like Bible. It is our perception, because we are accustomed to just look at it, in the market. That is only the accessible chaining in the market easily. So question brought up: what about the 46? What about the 44? What about the 42? Even lower. And all of his questions was experimental. And although there are like 10 gear, sprockets, and 11 gear sprockets, 9 gears, how many people really utilize all of those gears? How many people really has a technique using different ratio of each gear? And how many people really switching shifting these inner and outer chaining according to these different gear ratios. Well, he provided very common questions to everybody, and then he also approached to break down our perception and making bigger chaining, smaller chaining, different types of chaining, different number of teeth. And my journey lasted 4 years. Together with him, I almost went through all different types of chaining. That experience, that opportunity was purely was a great privilege. That as a bike lover, just the next door, in our country, I can reach to him by phone. I can reach to him on the online, and then receiving his knowledge, and asking some questions and about his view. And his idea was popping out, and then he tried to rebuild different types. Eventually arrived in the ocean of this birth of 5G. We call it 5G is the last chaining he giving us to as a last piece of his work. Ultra low ability for clipless pedal, and this is the latest model, and I have this model, and I'm truly excited these days riding with these chainings. And I think that the overseas the friends have opportunity to give a try. When the man has his self-confidence, it may reflect very hard, very stubborn. But that is another gift that other people get benefited. When the person gives his idea without any intention, well, he doesn't want to be recognized. What really things made me my heart moved to make this video was he was living like a man in the cage. He was like a monk. He was not like living in a huge fancy industry area. He was developing these very humble Doval chaining, like a David Soros the tent near the Weldon Lake. Yeah, and all the steps inside that little small factory, like a garage, they were very gentle, and all the students, some of them were studying, some of them was working in and out, and I was very, very impressed. And that was the source of my appreciation to Mr. Che. Once again, friends, when we're cycling, we are dealing with this movement, we are dealing with this gravity, and nothing is fixed. Each moment has a different power produced from different directions, different forces were acting and reacting. It constantly changes. If you run, you're paddling at 90 RPM per minute, which means within a second you have to switch between two foots, and one is pulling and the other one is pushing. All of these the movement are taking place. How can we say that our body is like a fixed robot machine? So in that aspect, not only the chaining, not only the movement, but also our human body directly involves acting and reacting. The muscles, contractions, and then our hip is moving, and our hip flexor and hamstrings and the quadruped, the calf and ankles, and they are all jointing together, and producing the power and releasing the power, and then the point of the muscle gathering the force and then delivering to the next angle. This is a very complicated area, because we are not a robot. Because a human being is not a machine. So in that aspect, he made so many chainings, and once again, he arrived his final decision that his final work on this chaining is this ultra low ability. We call it the 5G. That's the last piece. And he said, in person, he said, this is my limit. I always try to push my limit, and then push my own knowledge and push my own experience to try to find out what is this non-overchaining and non-circular chaining is rigid. And then, as the bike has been in the system more than 200 years, it's developed. The bike has been progressed. It's from the chromolysis, it's from the aluminum, and now we have a carbon carbon body. When is it dramatically changing? Of course, the chaining also changes, but why our pedaling is always have to be same? That was my main question too. So why this overlity? There are so many contributors who developed the different types of overchainings. Rota is one of those two. Absolute is one of those two, because those guys, they also had a question, a very common question, a very sensible question. Human body does not circle like a machine. So Mr. Choi, he made the final decision to stop developing more. This is the last final piece, and I think this will truly contribute to many cyclists. If each one of you without to produce, it's a chip. If you buy in the market, compared to other chainings, you can just grab as a piece of a cake. But that piece of cake gives you insight, gives you opportunity, and give you a chance to develop and to know more, and eventually that will bring the joy about what you are doing for what you love. That's my full intention about this chaining. Once again, thanks to Mr. Choi. And I will make more videos on this and to try to share with English folks friends to better understanding about this Doval chaining. It's very humble, but it is a gift, and then this is a product. We can call it product, but at least this is great gift, and the birth of 5G. I really appreciate to Mr. Che. Thank you, Mr. Che. Thank you very much.